Around 2011 is when Joe and I began doing our our blog talk show on Blog Talk, a show on Blog Talk Radio, and it was I believe it was Mr. Midnight Movie. I was Mr. Midnight Movie, and he was Jewish producer. We were helping to promote a portion of my father's film festival, and a part of my father's film festival that was that I wanted to do was a midnight movie. I was always kind of a fan of the midnight movie genre. And I want to mention hello, Darren. But yeah, I've always been kind of a movie fan, and politics has always been kind of a hobby of mine. I've always enjoyed the McLaughlin Report and Firing Line and different things when politics were discussed. Even in the like 80 when Reagan was running, and then in 84, I was just interested in the Democratic primary. Uh, I was interested in the primary in 1988. So I've always been kind of interested in politics and the things at play. So, but getting back to Blog Talk Radio, that's where I met online. We never met in person. Debbie Daly, and then through Debbie Daly, I became introduced to Howard, and Howard is an interesting character. He's often accused of derailing my show and derailing my ideas. He will seem to ask question after question and try to stump me. I don't know if it is for his own ego or his amusement. Howard does admit to being a selfish person, and he's done things that amuse me, and I guess at times have angered and upset me. And I've never disliked Howard, and I've never really hated Howard. There are things that I didn't like about him, and personality traits that I didn't necessarily like about Howard. But for the most part, I find him to be interesting, and I agree with about 75 to 85% of what he says, maybe even more. But, and like I said, I try to be stoic on things and not get too emotionally wrapped up. But there are people that have said that with Howard, I have lost my stoic calm. And that perhaps could be the truth, because someone like Howard, I believe he does like upsetting people. And sometimes, and maybe more often than perhaps I like to admit, I fall for the bait and get upset. So that's just my main thing. And I'm getting really, lately, right now at this time, I have become very tired. And part of me wants to take a little bit of a nap before I head off to work. And I do want to say again, hello, Darren. Darren is one of our listeners from Oregon. And he lives close, I believe, he lives fairly close to Portland. So that whole issue, he's given us some insight into what is going on there. It's really interesting. But and then I wanted to get into the last show I did, which was Who Decide. I believe it was Who Decides Who's Nuanced, and it's more of my attack on the anti-racist left. Again, my belief: if you scratch the surface of an anti-racist leftist, you'll get a hypocrite and a control freak. They want to control the narrative, and they do not want debate. That is my belief. Rip Abe and Teddy on the Day of Rage. I'm sorry, I just read the thing on the Day of Rage. Just anyway, so that is my belief. And then Howard came along and asked question after question. He didn't really make a comment, and he was polite. And like I said, my diabetes does get the better of me, and I often have the urge to take restroom breaks and get a little bit on the tired side, which I am now. So I'm going to cut this show a little bit short because I'm not giving the best information that I can give. But for me, the best way to deal with a person like Howard is really not to take it too personally. I'm not sure of his motivations. Sometimes he does things that make the show more interesting, and sometimes perhaps he even derails it. But either way, it comes to an interesting topic, and I think he does make things perhaps a little bit more entertaining. So I'm going to leave it at that. Hey guys, like and subscribe. We are striving to be as open of a forum as humanly possible, and open dialogue and open discussion is what we are all about. So again, like and subscribe, and even share if you enjoy what I've said. Thank you, and have a good day. And yes, rip, and I don't know who they are, but rip Abe and Teddy on the Day of Rage. That is what Darren posted. And like I said, I wish you all the best. And again, please like and subscribe to the channel and share these videos because, of course, YouTube doesn't share content that often.